Back.
Welcome everyone to another great week. Everyone had a great and lovely week. I know I did. I know I had a lovely weekend. Sunday Funday brunches, guys. You guys gotta go to them. The Sunday Funday brunches are a whole nother vibe.
Of course, Fang.
Man, oh man, shut up, Tony. Man, oh man, it was such a great thing to see how this league came together for Damar Hamlin. Fans, nobody cared about who was rooting for which team. That everything was put aside. And all the prayers, man. It's so good to see that he's out of the hospital now. Such a quick recovery. Hopefully one day we see him back in the league after suffering this bad injury. And hopefully we start talking to our players. Always with you, buddy. We want to see you back in this league. We know you can do damage. But man, oh man. Man, let's go with the Eagles and the Giants right now. But before we start, let me introduce you guys my colleagues. My first colleague over there is John Paul. How you doing, older brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing lovely. Then we got my good friend that looks like a big ass grape today. But luckily he's not wearing his Mets stuff, so that's better. How you doing over there, Tony? Then we got the man, the legend that never forgets to wear his hat. I don't know why he doesn't, but he got to wear his hat. How you doing over there, brother David?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing lovely. Man, oh man. Let's go with the Eagles and the Cowboys, and Eagles and the Giants. Eagles, the New York Giants, best just starters.
I'm paused over here, guys. You guys all right there?
What?
No, you're frozen.
You're frozen, buddy.
Now you're not.
Who was frozen? Me?
Yeah, you were frozen.
Not bad.
Yeah, because you were playing with the dog. I want to know what the hell you know over there. Okay.
My dog hurt himself. I had to make sure he was okay. He's like my family.
Okay. All right. Okay, then let's back to the Eagles and the Giants. So, Tony, do you agree with that move that they did? Bench the starters?
No, I don't. I'm a big proponent of Tom Coughlin. 2007 and 2011, he didn't rest his starters in week 17, and we rode our wave of momentum. And even though in 2011 we beat the Cowboys, his ass to actually tossed them out. So that was a different story. But in 2007, we lost to the Patriots. But it pissed us off enough to to go all the way through and beat their asses in the Super Bowl. So I don't agree with it. I don't agree with resting players. They have all off season to rest. So injuries are going to happen no matter what. Whether it's a regular season game, a game that means nothing, playoffs, it's going to happen. So I don't rest players.
Okay. David, what do you guys say on that one, buddy?
I agree with Tony, but the difference between that team and this team, we've never had that many injuries like we did that year. So I just think that we need to rest starters just so we get some people back. And look what happened with the Chargers. The Chargers had Bosa and Mike Williams hurt. So I'm a big believer in that the Coughlin thing too, where you play. If you're healthy enough, you play. But imagine if something happened where Jones got hurt or something like that. That's the only reason why I'm happy that he rested. I would have just rested him, to be honest with you.
Okay. Now, Paul, what do you guys say for this one, buddy?
I like when a team is fresh. I don't like when they're when they go into the playoffs not playing, because you kind of especially with the Giants, they were on a heater. You know what I mean? They were playing really, really well. I mean, you sit players like your running back and your quarterback who are both of them. Obviously, your running back is mobile, but your quarterback's often also mobile. And I mean, just to cool them off like that, I'm not a fan of. So I didn't like the fact that they sat their starters. That's just my point of view.
Is that your point of view as a regular football fan or as a Giant Cowboy fan? Because that affected the one seed.
That's as a regular football fan. I don't agree with sitting your players. I think you get paid to play 17 weeks. Get your ass out there and play 17 weeks. I don't care if you're in the playoffs or not.
Okay. I'm going to agree with David over here. I support the Giants move. I think it's more close to the amount of injuries you guys had. The Giants do have a lot of injuries. You definitely don't want to take a hit like that on Daniel Jones, because that is your quarterback. That is the leader of that team to take you on the playoff. God forbid something happens, you don't want him injured. I do support that move. And let's see how playoffs go for y'all. Let's see how playoffs
I'm just going to add a little caveat.
Yes.
So our college team, I mean, literally came within one touchdown of beating starters who needed that win. So if we would have played our starters and destroyed Philadelphia, which looks like it could have absolutely happened because they played like shit, and so did Dallas for it wouldn't have changed anything at the end of the day, but it would have made us look a little bit better.
Yes, it would. It would have
No.
changed something. San Francisco would have got the number 1 seed. It definitely would have changed something if the Giants would have beaten the Eagles. 49ers would have got the number 1 seed. Now they don't have the number 1 seed. The Eagles do. It would have definitely changed shit. 110%.
Whatever. I'm just saying our second string team basically came within 6 points of winning that game. If we would have came in with that victory, I would have liked it a whole lot better going into the playoffs.
Okay. Let's see, but it's always risky there, Tony. You're taking a big risk over there right before the playoffs. God forbid, like what's his name, David said. You look at the Chargers. They did it with Bosa and Mike Williams. Now they're going to play banged up. Bosa's a beast. Bosa's the best defensive player they got in that team. Now he's going to be banged up. You don't want him banged up. You want him healthy.
It's a violent game.
100% a violent game. But why do it when he got that risk? Let's say for example.
Why ride the wave of momentum into the playoffs? That's why.
I agree, but if it would have helped our seeding, I'm all for it because I would rather play Tampa, to be honest with you, than I would the Vikings. But it didn't do anything. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like now, the Chargers. They said if the Chargers lose the first round, Staley's out, and they're going to bring in Sean Payton. Apparently,
what? Sean Payton. Broncos are bringing him too right now as well.
Yep.
He's not going to the Broncos. I just with the get players getting hurt type deal. I understand, but I also believe that everything happens for a reason. So if they didn't get hurt this week,
oh yeah, I agree with you though.
You know what I mean?
You get paid to play. I agree with that too. I 100%. But that's like saying us go to our job and be like, yeah, we're gonna take the week off because it's it's Christmas week, so I'm not gonna do shit. But I mean, listen, at the end of the day, though, I mean, of all teams, the Giants deserve a rest. Their team has been hurt all year.
100%. Let's see what happens, man. Playoffs are here. Finally, playoffs are here. All right, guys. Roger Goodell came out with the whole scenario now, how this game, because now Buffalo and Bengals are 1 game down. Now they're saying that if Buffalo and Kansas City make it to the AFC Chip, the game's going to be played in a neutral site. Will not be played at Kansas City. And the Bengals game and the Ravens game, yes, it was decided over who's going to be playing at where over a coin toss. They said whoever gets wins, that's going to be a dead home. With all this happening now, do you guys support this whole thing that Roger Goodell's doing and how he's doing it?
He has no choice. I mean, at this point. So I'm going to go back. We had a show that didn't air. But I'm going to go back and say, once again, as a human being, I felt for the player. The game should have been played.
He even said that too. Even after the first thing when he got up.
It messed up all this stuff. Or at the end of the day, Goodell had to make the decision and say Bengals were leading the game. Bengals wanted to come back into the game and play the game. The Buffalo Bills walked off. It's a forfeit. You got to make a decision. Now you're resting on a coin flip and a neutral site. I mean, it's stupid. Either the game should have been played or Goodell had to make a decision. That was it.
To be honest with you, I kind of like the AFC in a neutral site, to be honest with you, because if you really look at it, the Bills have the tiebreaker anyway. If anything, they screwed themselves because they already beat Kansas City this year. I kind of like the neutral site. I think it's kind of cool, to be honest with you. I mean, it sucks that you work all year and then all of a sudden you need a coin flip to see where the game's going to be played and all this other shit. But I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I mean, someone's life was almost taken. That's never happened in the NFL before. So they didn't know how to react either. And to be honest, you saw the Bills. I mean, Bills definitely, I agree with Tony too. Like, yeah, they should have forfeited the game just because they looked like they didn't want to go. But at the end of the day, imagine they played the game. They would have had so many riffraff in the morning of like, why did they continue to play the game? They would have got torched on the media if they would have continued that game.
So I'm almost certain if they ask Damar Hamlin what he would have gone.
He said they wanted them to play. He asked him the first thing.
Yes, yeah,
That was the first question.
Yeah.
What was the outcome of the game?
Yeah.
So I mean, and once again, I mentioned this, and I know it's two different sports, but during the European soccer, championship, a player from Denmark had a heart attack on the field.
Yeah.
The ambulance came, picked them up. 5 minutes later, they were playing again. I mean, you guys get, there's too many, implications, too many variables. The game had to be played. It just,
It never happened in the NFL before, and that's why I think they didn't know how to react to it, I think, too.
So let me ask you a question. It's close to home. It's close to home. So what happened with, I can't remember his name, the kid who got paralyzed on the field at Rutgers?
Yes, Eric LeGrand.
They finished the game.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid was paralyzed. That they knew right then and there.
Well, he also had a heartbeat. You can't. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, you can't compare someone that was considered almost dead on the football field versus.
So once again, there's a lot of constricting problems there because none of those facts are actually 100% true. They got his heart beating back on the field, and also that 9 minutes of no oxygen is also bullshit. Because if he had no 9 minutes of no oxygen, he would have been dead.
I don't know.
Those facts are so all fucked up. He did have a heartbeat. They when they were at the field and they had the machine. Yeah, they resuscitated him. He had a heartbeat leaving the field.
I feel bad for T. Higgins, man. I don't know if you guys saw it. He was getting ripped.
People are stupid, man.
I know. I said the same thing. Like
it was not that bad. It was not bad. It was not a dirty hit.
No, not at all. But it was the way he got. It was the way Damlin got hit. That's what happened. It was the way he got hit is how it happened. It was like a 1 in a million chance or something like that. I think they said or something like that.
Well, they say he went into VFib. What happens at VFib is his heartbeat goes up and down, as you see on that machine. If he got hit when his heartbeat was at that peak, your blood pressure drops. The second you take that hit to your chest, it's like getting your wind knocked out of you. His heartbeat dropped and his blood pressure drops, which dropped him to go into VFib. When you go into VFib, technically speaking, you can die from it.
That's what they said. Like, people think like he had cardiac arrest when he made it. No, it was when he made the tackles as soon as it happened. Like, he wouldn't be able to make a tackle, obviously, if that happened. I just feel bad for T. Higgins. But to answer this whole thing, I'm okay with the AFC being a neutral site, but I agree with Tony a little bit too. Like, it kind of sucks. I mean, I feel bad for the Bills too. I mean, they worked their asses off all year, and now they and the thing that sucks is they beat the Chiefs already this year, don't forget.
So, I mean, here's the thing, right? You go to a neutral site.
Where's the game going to be played? Did they say yet?
It can't be played in Detroit because Detroit got construction on their field. Detroit will definitely not be in Detroit because the way they had it when they had the snow game with the Bills and they put that game in Detroit, they're definitely not doing it in Detroit.
Well, Indianapolis said no already.
What?
Indy said no already. They wanted to have it in Indianapolis and they said no because they have something else going on.
That's why I said too many implications, man. And Roger Goodell dropped the ball on it.
Me personally, I do feel bad for the Bills. Don't get me wrong, but you also got to feel bad for the Chiefs. I mean, they still got that number one spot. You're supposed to get home field throughout, and now it's going to be played in a neutral zone. I mean, that's kind of stupid.
I kind of like it, though. It's kind of like a Super Bowl type thing. Like, I mean, I get it. You work your ass off all year and stuff like that, but I just don't know an exact neutral spot where Kansas City and Buffalo play.
So let me ask you a question, David, and this is for all of you, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, for instance, we are all season ticket holders for Kansas City.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't we supposed to be pissed if they make it to the AFC Championship?
Listen, I would be pissed if the Chiefs beat the Bills and we had to play a neutral site. The Bills beat them. It's different. Now, if I was a Chiefs fan and we beat the Bills, I would be a little upset, but they beat us already.
And the home field advantage don't affect the Chiefs at all because the Bengals came in there and shut that shit down last year.
Yeah, but
the home field advantage didn't help them last year.
It's not necessarily a home field advantage. I'm just talking about if I was a season ticket holder for Kansas City right now, as it stands, my team is the number one team.
You have no right to be mad. You already lost.
You
them.
cannot compare. Listen,
if you
what
would
do
have
you
beat them,
it doesn't make a difference what happened in the
yes, it
season.
does matter. If you would have beat them, then you have a right to be mad. But you guys didn't beat them.
You can't compare the Bengals here. The Bengals were hot, and that's how the whole field is everything, man.
But you can't be mad about your team. But then when they didn't win, when they had the chance to have that advantage,
it doesn't make a difference. Right now, what does it say? It says that Kansas City is number one. They're supposed to have home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs. Okay. So if I'm a season ticket holder, I am extremely upset. Why? Because if my team makes it to the AFC Championship, I am supposed to have tickets to go to that game. Now you screwed me.
Okay.
And season ticket holder, I mean, listen, I hope one day I could ever get season tickets. It's never probably going to happen for Giants, but that's a lot of fucking money. That is a lot of money.
Yeah. Jumper, what do you guys say, buddy? This whole situation. So we can wrap it up.
See, that for me, I'm the same way. I don't like the fact that if the team has home field advantage throughout, playing it in the neutral spot's kind of stupid. I don't care if I lost to you in the beginning of the season or not. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just, it is what it is. I fucking tore it up just as much as you guys did, even though you guys beat me. I can care less. I still got that number one spot. I deserve to be home throughout the playoffs.
Okay. Let's see what happens now, guys. And I'm making a prediction, early prediction, guys, now. Next year, there's going to be 8 playoff teams in the league. I'm making that now.
Yeah, they already said that's going to happen.
8 playoff. That one team is going to be gone. That whole event. I'll tell you guys that now.
I think it's stupid. I think it should be the top 2 seeds that actually has the bye, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
They're going to do. There's always going to be a bye week. There's always going to be a bye week.
I just think it's stupid. The top 2 don't get it. It's all about money, dude. You know how much they're going to revenue from adding an extra team? That's going to be so much extra revenue for them. They'd be stupid not to do that.
Yeah. Let's see what happens now. All right, guys. Now we're talking about football team. Let's talk about Dallas Cowboys. What the hell happened? John Paul, I'm going to go to you first. What the hell happened? Because this is your team. Your team you watch. What the hell happened here?
I'm not going to lie. I don't really know. I didn't watch the game. I was busy on Sunday. But from what I saw from highlights, I mean, it was kind of a let-up game. They got their asses kicked. Don't get me wrong. But it doesn't look like they were really playing that hard. The only one that looked like he was playing pretty hard was CeeDee Lamb. Other than their running backs did really nothing. Dak Prescott threw 3 interceptions. I mean, you can't win a game throwing 3 interceptions. You should know that. So, I mean, I think they had a feeling. They probably were watching that scoreboard because there's scoreboards in every stadium. You know, they probably saw San Francisco destroying, the Cardinals, and they were just like, you know what, the hell with it. We ain't going to get it anyway because we needed both of them to lose, and it probably ain't going to happen. Just use this as like a practice. But that kid from Washington, that quarterback, I was shocked with him though. I mean, I saw some highlights. He might be the future of that team, man. I mean, listen, Heineke's good. That kid played pretty decent.
Allen was awesome in college.
I won't take.
They had no tape on him either, buddy. The Dallas Cowboys defense had no tape on him to see what they're going against.
The tape was there to see. He just ran and passed the ball out.
When you're playing a new quarterback, you don't know what to cover against him, buddy. You see that every time you put a new quarterback in, they have a great game the first game, and then maybe they do good after that, but most of the time they're sucking butt after that.
You know about sucking butt.
I know you're asking to say something like that. Yeah. Tony, what do you think about that game with the Dallas Cowboys, how they got destroyed?
I mean, just look at the past couple weeks. Even though they've won a couple games, since the Texans game, Dallas has been playing terrible since the Texans game. And the number one proponent for that is Dak Prescott. I know Jerry Jones has got to be saying to himself, man, there's a ton of free agent quarterbacks, and he's got to be licking his chops a little bit. I don't think Dak is the future of that franchise.
This might be a stupid question. What's a proponent?
It's like a proponent. It's like a component, but it's a proponent.
I think you meant to say component.
No, it's a proponent.
I'm kind of thinking, I'm going, what is proponent?
But yeah, I don't think Dak is the future of that team. I think Jerry's got to be sitting there going, man, you know, is this the type of game we want to play before the playoffs? I mean, destroyed.
Okay. David, what you got to say on this, buddy?
Much to say. It was the last week. Dak keeps throwing interceptions. I hope they lose to Tampa this weekend. The end.
Okay. Another game we saw. I gotta give a big props to my former team, the Seattle Seahawks. They came in, they won the game. They got a playoff spot. The Lions versus the Packers. Lions, man, this team is something else. Their future looking very bright. But at the end of the game, one of the Lion players asked Rodgers for his jersey. Rodgers said, "Nah, I'm gonna need this jersey." Is this a sign that Rodgers is either done with the Packers or done with the league next year?
I don't think he's done with the league. I think he's definitely done with the Packers. But once again, Aaron Rodgers plays this stupid game every couple years. I'm leaving. The Packers here's a couple more million, and he stays. He's a greedy pig. He really is. And I've always said that about Rodgers. He's a greedy pig. That's why, and listen, is he a good quarterback? Yes, sure, absolutely. Is he going to win a bunch of championships like Brady? No. Why? Because you're a greedy bastard. You're supposed to kind of let everybody around you flourish a little bit too. And that's why Brady always was surrounded by good players, because he wasn't raping, the New England Patriots. He's taking a moderate quarterback salary and letting, the team grow around him.
Okay. David, what do you got to say on this one, buddy?
Is he going to be a Jet next year?
No.
That would be stupid.
Lamar Jackson to the Jets.
That's what I think. That actually, I think it might.
Actually, you want to know what I think might happen? I think Justin Fields might go to the Jets.
I think Derek Carr might go to the Jets.
What?
Derek Carr.
I look. This is the thing which I don't understand. They keep saying Fields is our quarterback. They made a good point. They said, why would you want to have Justin Fields get beat up? You're not going to be good for 2-3 years. You're going to have to pay him all this money to come back and stuff. You might as well get your trade value of him. Take Bryce Young from Alabama, have him young. You'll have him for a couple of years, because they're not going to, Bears won't be good for another 3-4 years. So why not trade him, get some capital for him? There's tons of teams that would take him. Who knows what's going to happen with Tua with his concussions? I can see the Dolphins maybe try and get him, or get Lamar. What's going to happen with Lamar with the Ravens? I can see the Ravens try getting Justin Fields, because he fits their system. Fields is just like Lamar Jackson. If they don't want to pay Lamar, they'll trade for Justin Fields. I think that could happen, because he's still on that rookie deal. They'll save tons of money. There's a lot of.
If I'm the Jets, I put the pedal to the metal and get shit moving. I don't wait.
Oh, I think they're definitely going to go for Carr, even Justin Fields, Lamar. I think there could be a couple options. But
and they have the money to do it.
Oh yeah, and then I heard Aaron Rodgers might go to Vegas. I heard that too, to go to play with Devontae. I heard that also. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I think Aaron is still a top-notch QB. I'm just so sick of the drama. Like, it's just like, dude, if you're gonna retire, just say you're retired. Like, I feel bad for Packer fans. Imagine what they go through in an offseason. I don't know if he's going to come back. Then when he wants to come back, he wants $50 million. Then you trade Devontae Adams, and it's just a mess. Like, I would not want to be a Packers fan. I'm just over it. Like, either retire or come back, or go to a different team. Just say it. Who cares? Brady did it. You could do it too. Nobody's going to be mad at you. You won a championship with Green Bay. Thank you for your service. Go ahead. Go somewhere else like Favre did.
But it's crazy. You know, it's crazy how they had probably the top 10 to top 20 QB of all time in the team, that franchise, and they only pulled off 2 championships. That's the crazy part to me.
All right, who's better, him or Favre?
Favre.
Okay. Good answer.
Favre, 100% without a doubt.
John Paul, you don't think so?
Even though whatever the screw up that Favre did in Mississippi.
John Paul, don't even say you think Rodgers.
No. I do think that Brett Favre is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. Not by much, though.
Really?
Not by much.
Yeah, I think Favre was way too much of a gunslinger, too many interceptions.
Favre had a ton of interceptions.
Oh,
he
100%.
Had interceptions as he did touchdowns. and Aaron Rodgers wasn't that bad.
I just
Now,
think Favre is just more of a leader.
Oh, no, absolutely. Favre brought that team together 110%. He was a lot better of a leader. Player-wise, it's pretty close. But yes, I think Favre was definitely a better quarterback.
Okay. Now let's see what happens.
Especially that team. But if you want my opinion on what my Jets are going to do, because I will own them after in about 3 hours. But if you want my honest opinion, I think there's 3 possible quarterbacks the Jets go after this offseason. One of which I think they're going to go heavy on Lamar Jackson. They're going to go heavy on Derek Carr, and they're going to go heavy on Jimmy G. The only reason I say Jimmy G and put his name in there is because he has a relationship with Robert Saleh, and I think that he would fit there. The only problem I have with Jimmy G is he's too injury prone.
Yep.
That bothers me. So if I want to,
so is Lamar Jackson is injury prone too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I want a quarterback that I know is young still and he could still, I really haven't.
Wait, here's a question. Here's a question for you. Let's say Jimmy G goes to the Jets. If you're San Francisco, do you trade Trey Lance?
No, you keep him for the back. The second string.
Okay, but next year, is he going to be the starter again?
No, you put Purdy. Whatever the guy's name is.
Okay.
No, Trey Lance to start this.
You think he's going to start next? See,
that'll be stupid. That'll be another freaking Washington Commander bullshit where they should have started Heineke over that bomb of Carson Wentz.
Okay, you really should say Philadelphia Eagles screwed up. That's what you should have said. It should have been Foles over Wentz the entire time.
No, but Washington football team, they should have started Heineke over.
I agree with that. I agree with that too. They should have never started Wentz. What they should have done is have the rookie start halfway through the year, Howell, because obviously you see him in practice. He was obviously doing well enough for him to start. I just think they didn't want to play him this year and have him start next year. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington goes after a QB. Would not be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised if they go after Rodgers, Lamar, Justin Fields. I can see that.
I think
is anybody going after Russell Wilson?
What the fuck? I knew it. Dumbass was not saying that. I knew he would. So go kiss my ass. I knew your ass was gonna throw a joke at me. So F you.
That wasn't a joke at you. That was a joke at Russell Wilson.
Yes. Okay. Now, next, back to the point. Where we going?
Well, no. I also see Chicago trading that number 1 pick. I don't think they keep it. I think they trade away that number 1 pick, possibly get some offensive linemen to help out Justin Fields. Trade that pick and
the Colts are going to try to trade up. I feel like the Colts are going to trade.
That's what I heard. I think they will trade that number 4. I think either 4 or 5 pick.
4, I think, yeah.
To Chicago for the number 1 and probably a little bit more. Not that Indianapolis really has much to offer, but I mean,
we need offensive line help too, though, man.
They do. I mean, absolutely, 100.
Their offensive line is just as bad as the Giants, too, man. Listen, at the end of the day, look, all right, Tony will agree with this. Daniel Jones, when he first started, right? How shitty did he play because he had no offensive line? True. Yeah. Now, Justin Fields, people are like, oh, all this. He had to run the ball so much this year because he was just always getting rushed. So he was the Daniel Jones of last year, 2 years ago. See what happens when you put just some bodies in front? Things could change around. The Bears traded Roquan Smith. I just feel like they're just on total rebuild, where I just feel like they just might want to trade Justin because they want to rebuild. Get a number 1, get a QB rookie, then build that offensive line and try and get more picks.
There's going to be a lot of crazy offenses. It's going to be a crazy offseason this year. It's definitely going to be a roller coaster ride. Before we wrap up the show, before we wrap things up, Sean Payton is rumored of coming back in the league. Sean Payton. Where do you guys see Sean Payton ending up? Because the Broncos are asking for him, and Jim Harbaugh might be coming back to the league. He might be leaving Michigan.
He's an idiot.
Okay, good for I don't know. But where do you guys see these guys ending up before we wrap up the show? Where do you guys see Jim and Sean ending up?
It all depends on who wants to give up a first-round pick.
Really? That's what it is?
That's who the Saints want. The Saints said they still own them. They still own the rights to.
Why would they not want a first round pick? He's like one of the best
Absolutely.
coaches in the league.
No,
That's like, you know.
Absolutely, I 110% agree. But it all depends on who wants to give up that first round pick and who the Saints want to give them to.
This is the question. He needs to go to a team that doesn't need a first round pick, and there's only one team that doesn't: the Chargers.
Well, it's funny you say that. The other LA team,
The Rams.
for some weird reason, as young as this man is, he's thinking of just calling quits.
He's going to go on TV. I heard he's getting like a crazy TV deal if he quits.
Yeah, Sean McVay is looking to get out.
Donald's calling it quits too. Aaron Donald said that, but if he calls it quits, I'm calling quits too. I'm out of here.
Bye, Aaron Donald. Get out of my league. You make me sick anyway.
I would not want to see him in the league anymore. He's too. I love Aaron Donald though, but as like a Giant fan, you don't want to see him.
Yeah. Bye. It depends if that position opens up. That's got to be super lucrative for him. The Rams,
the two LA, the Chargers and the Rams.
Yeah,
the Rams got no first round picks though.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't got a first round pick.
Chargers do.
Let's see what happens. Guys. All right, guys. Playoff time is here. The playoffs are here, baby. Man, oh man, crazy how fast the year goes by. I don't grow, but the year goes by fast.
no shit. We know that.
Thank you very much. All right, Tony, are you ready over there, brother? All right, first game we got is my former team, the Seattle Seahawks, versus the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco on Saturday.
Purdy is going to take a shit on those birdies. 49ers.
I'm going Seattle Seahawks. You okay with it, buddy? Look like you about to sneeze.
I'm also going 49ers.
49ers.
Okay, next game we got the Chargers and the Chargers and the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Before we go over this, I want to give a big shout out to Jacksonville Jaguars. Are making the playoffs. They're the only minority team and the only team in all sports right now owned by a Pakistani guy. Big props to you guys for making playoffs. Good job. I can't wait to see y'all get the job though. I'm going with Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm going
Chargers. Tony, what'd you say? Chargers?
I didn't say anything yet.
Oh, I said I'm going Chargers.
Yeah, Dumpo, where you going, buddy? Shaking your head over there.
Chargers.
I'm going to do really bad this week.
What time is that game? Does anybody know?
Not in the night game.
Oh, it's a night game?
Yes.
Oh, Chargers then. Okay.
The Jags have such a hot hand right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I got to go Jags.
Trevor Lawrence is a bust.
I'm not sure if he could be.
So far.
Doc, what?
He's better than Zach Wilson so far.
He could be better than Zach Wilson. I still think he's a bust.
Okay, next game. We got the Miami Dolphins in Buffalo playing game. I got Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Bills.
All right. Next game we got John Paul. Tony. I'm gonna go with you first on this one. We got the Giants versus the Vikings in Minnesota. John Paul, who you going, buddy?
You said what?
You said Tony, then you said John Paul.
Tony, who you going, buddy?
You mind, dumb bastard?
Is that even a question, dumb bastard?
I mean, you got the Viking colors right now, so I don't know.
He has a Giant hat on.
Giants hat on, you dumb. Come on,
It could be a Bills hat right there.
It could be a Bills hat though.
Right there. It looks like this one they screwed up on, but
it could be. I'm just saying it could be either one. But definitely
G-Men, baby.
G-Men, okay. David, who you going, buddy?
Vikings. Just because I always pick against the Giants.
Yeah, that's true. John Paul, who you going over there, buddy?
Oh boy.
Any day now. We don't got all day.
Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna go with the Giants.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh,
Let's go. Next game we got the Ravens, the Bengals in Bengals house. Where you guys going with?
Cincy.
Go for it.
David, where you going there, buddy?
Cincy.
Let's see, okay.
Cincinnati.
I'm going with Baltimore. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm going to Cincinnati as well. I think Cincinnati. I think with that quarterback situation, that's just a little screwed up over there. Then we got Monday Night Football, playoff football. We got the GOAT, Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, going against so-called America's football team, who hasn't been America's football team in the last 30 years. John Paul, here you go, buddy.
Cowboys.
Tony?
I have to go Tampa Bay.
I have to go Tampa too. Tom Brady 7-0 versus the Cowboys.
I'm never going against Tom Brady, the GOAT. I'm going Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. Okay.
He gets blown up this weekend. Bang!
Okay. We all have a great, lovely weekend. Enjoy some great playoff football. I know I will. I will be watching it in the comfort. And let's see what happens, guys. See y'all next week.
Oh, shit.